last few years, special planning acquires special attention, and this is also backed up by the legislation which was put in place in Ukraine. This transformation of legislation was necessitated by the outstanding requirements for the development of territories and communities by way of spatial development. We would like to focus on land management tasks as we work on the documents of spatial development. Over the last few years, we've seen an upgrade of our legal framework concerning the land use. Considerable changes have taken place in this area.
Щодо документації з просторового планування на місцевому рівні, а саме комплексному плану.
There is a comprehensive spatial plans that have been adopted for the local level. As a result of the research of land management issues, we've singled out two blocks of issues which enumerate current challenges. The first one is related to the current challenges related to changes in the legislation, and the second block of issues are about the consequences of the aggression of Russia against Ukraine. As regards the first set of issues, as a result of the analysis of the new structure of the general and comprehensive plans, and as compared to the previous structure, we found out and analyzed additional tasks which have to be implemented for the improvement of land management and documents. That includes the entering of data to the general Cadastre about the boundaries, functional zones, and the rational use of arable lands, as well as information about the threats to and conflicts in the way of the use of natural resources. The main task here is the formation of land plots for communal and individual property. This is being done by those who are the drafters of the plans of spatial development. It envisions setting the boundaries, the definition of the area, and the allocation of cadastre numbers. All that should be introduced in the National Land Cadastre. Otherwise, plans are not going to be legitimate. These documents envision prospective project solutions like the separation of lands into categories along the lines of users and owners, and along the lines of land plots with a certain encumbrance and limitations. There are also territories which have been allocated as a social good, and the information about them should also be entered into the cadastre. As to individual land plots, apart from the information related to boundaries, there should also be included information about the ownership entitlements for the land plots for which the entitlements were formulated before 2004. This is quite a complicated issue in legal and financial terms, and there's no clarity about the responsibility of this registration. As regards the rational use of arable lands, there's a set of measures to ensure rational use of arable lands within and without the settlement territories. This type of work was not previously related to the documentation on city development and construction. And this is explained by the fact that territorial communities include the lands which previously were outside the boundaries of settlements. And this requires special attention both in terms of protection of arable lands and in terms of the status of the components of the environment and the specifics of natural resource usage. The second package of challenges includes those related to the consequences of the aggression of Russia against Ukraine, and as a result of this aggression, new and challenges and issues have arisen. Especially relevant is the second point about contaminated territories. According to the data of official sources, the general area of contaminated lands is 184,000 square kilometers, which is 30% of lands contaminated with explosives. Here you see the regional classification made by the Kyiv School of Economics. And this slide shows the damage which was inflicted to the soils, the environment, and the water resources. All those calculations were made by the territorial bodies of environmental inspection from the 24th of February until the 18th of August 2023. The overall loss in terms of contamination of soils is more than 950 billion Ukrainian hryvnias. There's a lack of professional staff to address this issue, which makes this work especially difficult. We can come to the conclusion that territorial communities should develop comprehensive plans of their development against the backdrop of lack of resources, additional tasks and assignments that they have, destroyed infrastructure, and difficulties in gaining proper data, and lack of clarity of the term of spatial development, and lack of proper estimates for these functions. Thank you for your attention.